Hope to see you, all of you. Of course, I miss the opportunity of seeing your face and reactions. However, we have to live with this digital world. Without even looking at you, without seeing you, we have technology to interact and share the views. Hope that the last 6 months, most of you are, I do not know whether you really enjoy or miss the opportunity of meeting your friends in the classroom and meeting your faculties, or enjoy at home that liberty to live as you like. I'm not sure about the real, how the students are spending time and enjoying this kind of webinar class. But I really feel that, that something is missing, I interact with you. And, but of course, without seeing you and the real effectiveness of, explaining things, I feel that it's really missing. But what to do? The situation warrants, that changes are happening. We have to go with the changes. Thank you so much, friends, for giving me an opportunity today to be with you, to interact on Indian financial market and current scenario. Even though I labeled as Indian economy, capital market, current scenario, I would like to explain more on the financial market, because you are all BCom finance. You are more interested to know what is happening. Friends, it is more interesting, that to understand how the economy roller casting happening. And when you study about the financials, it depends on so many factors, that domestic factor and external factor, internal factor. There are a lot of factors which influences the economic activity of any nation, not only in India, any nation, which changes the things. But if you want to understand the financials and economic events, we need to understand basically on two things. One is that we need to know that, that the entire financial systems are monitored by two independent body or an organization. One is that Reserve Bank of India, another is the Government of India. Or otherwise, I can put this way, that one is a monetary policy, another is a fiscal policy, which influences the entire financial system of the country. This is what the policy, monetary policy. I will explain to you what is the monetary policy and what is the fiscal policy, how it impacts on the financial systems. And because probably, that I understand that there are students from the first year and the students are in final year and the second year, because their level of understanding and already this kind of a subject have been taught to them maybe in a different way. Probably the first year students may not have exposed to this, and probably final year student would have exposed to this. So we need to understand the monetary policy, how it influences the financial systems of the country. And also the fiscal policy. These both are very, very crucial. We need to understand. Monetary policy, nothing but, that the entire money circulation. Any financial activities, I hope that most of you understand how the money is circulated, how the functions of money happening in the country, in the economic system. I hope that probably, see, in simple terms, I will ask you one question that probably you may not be able to answer me now. But every one of you familiar from your childhood, from our childhood, that money. What is money? Can anyone explain what is money? Is it? Can you able to explain what is money? But everybody knows money. But can you define money? It's very difficult to define money. So we also need to understand the evolution of money from the human civilization, how from a barter system to a metal system, a metal to leather to metals, again, then paper, and again it's a derivatives, again become a digital, and so on. The evolution of currency, the money have become the reality in various forms from the human civilizations. The entire money circulations and is having a lot of impact in the financial activities. Probably when you read the economics, the monetary economics, and probably you will understand how the bankings are functioning, how the money playing a crucial role. But this money, you know, that it makes the growth, it creates a wealth, and it's also a living concept. It also a cost of living. So many things have been related with the value of the money and also how the money have been circulated over the system, which again, you know, the purchasing power of money is very, very crucial. Every one of you need to understand. What is the purchasing power of our money? India means Indian currency. Suppose US means US dollar, UK dollar, or any currency which that country adopts. So that is very, very crucial. That decides the purchasing power, circulation, debt, equity, capital, so many things which are decided by this monetary policy. Okay. The monetary policy effectively takes care of how the money to be circulated in the financial system and what should be the cost of the money, how the purchasing power of the money happens. So this is one part of the financial system which every one of need to understand. The second most important thing is that the fiscal policy which are handled by the government of India. This decides, you know, that what kind of a policy which goes into that, mainly on the taxation aspect and the revenue generation from the public, and those revenues how are spent back in the economy system, which creates a more infrastructure, more development, and more of wealth creation, and which all how much we are going to be wealthy and earnings, everything decided by this fiscal policy of the government. Both are not competitive to each other. Please understand that both are complementary to each other and both have to go very well with synchronizing the each policy so that the country's financial system functions in an excellent way which boosts the economic development. Without economic development, we cannot have all kinds of comforts and standard of living, so on. So the fiscal policy which are decided by the government, the monetary policy which are decided by the RBI, both are independent in nature, even though practically controls each other. But these are all the crucial policy every one of needs to understand about when we talk about the Indian financial systems. Now we are going to talk on how the current financial systems are functioning, what is the latest scenario, and what challenging it is, especially, you know, that the post-COVID situation. Earlier to post-COVID also, we had a challenging structural changes by way of, you know, demonetization and introduction of a new tax policy of GST. I hope that most of you understand what is demonetization and what is the GST introduction in the last year, which were putting already high strain on the economy and the financial systems. By the time the unexpected worst pandemic happened, that every one of you sitting in your home and listening to like this kind of lecture, which changed the entire foundations of the economy and fundamentals of financial systems. We need to understand. Friends, this is an introduction, which I'll go to the next level. Now, when you want to understand the financial system of the country, you need to understand how the country is growing, whether our economy is growing or not growing or is stagnant. Do we have an inflation and do we have a deflation? What kind of a cost of living we live? What kind of a banking system we have? And what kind of interest rate we provide? All these things we need to look at it. But before we go into the micro level, we need to understand the macro system, that basically we need to understand a gross domestic product, the GDP. That is a first indicator of the economy, understand the economy of any country. So that you know that the national statistics today, this is the latest statistics, has put out the figures. Our GDP has been contracted by 23.9%. This is the, what do you mean by contraction? I hope you understand the word between expansion and contraction. The expansion means you are enlarging certain things. You are making more. You are producing more. You have more money. You have more facilities, more rooms. So that means you are expanding, more space to move on, more space to live. The opposite is called a contraction. Contraction means is a coming down, shrinking. You understand, friends? So when the economy is expected to grow due to the COVID, and we are at a minus of 23.9, that means the GDP has been down and contracted, has come down by 23.9%, which is highest in the compared to other countries in the world. This is the biggest challenge today we face the situation. This is the biggest challenges. How to bring it to normal first, then how to grow. Unless we grow, we will not have an employment, we will not have a salary, we will not have a money flow. We will have to sacrifice so many things, all kind of interlinked. That is the best part of the finance we need to understand, friends. So that, you know, the one of the most contraction happened in the real estate. The real estate has been felt heat with the numbers falling almost 5.3% in the Q1. I hope that most of you understand what is Q1. It's the first quarter. Quarter means not that quarter. And you know that the entire financial year have been divided into 4 quarters. April to June is the first quarter. July to September is the second quarter. And October to December is the third quarter, and January to March is the fourth quarter. So normally the financial disclosure. What do you mean by disclosure? See, every corporate's banking system have to disclose their financial healthiness by way of balance sheet. I hope a student of commerce, you understand what is an accounts and what is a balance sheet. It's a balance sheet, nothing but a books balances how healthy they are, disclosing the financial statistics of each and every organization. That is the way of balance sheet, where you have a liability side, where you have an asset side, and how the balance liabilities and assets are. That is the window, that is the door, that is the understanding of each and every corporates, even including personal balance sheet or a corporate balance sheet. So that every quarter, that means now the first quarter means what is that? End of June. We are now the second quarter, end September. Now most of the corporates started disclosing their financial statistics by Q2. But the Q1 for the financial year of 20 and 21, friends, as a student of commerce and finance, you need to understand what is a calendar year, what is a financial year. When you call it as a year, normally you say that 2020 is a year, 2021 year, 2019 is a year. This is called a calendar year. You understand, friends? Now, when we talk about the finance, we normally call it as a financial year. That is called April to March. That is the year of every company, government discloses their balances, financial details, everything. We are assessed and understanding, study everything based on the financial year. Now, we are living in a financial year of 20 and 21. And so, see, from 6% growth in the same period of last year, fiscal, and it has come down to almost 5.3%. The government imposed nationwide stock lockdown almost March 25th. This is the worst affected sector in the economy. Now, when the system have been affected, I'll tell you how the impact on this, what is called the COVID-19 have impacted, how the stock market, this is one of the best indicator that how the financial market have been reacted to the situation. And when the COVID-19, when the lockdown was announced, now we are discussing basically our concentration should be on a pre-COVID and post-COVID, because the whole thing changed today. And you see, look at this here, the number in January, the Sensex, I hope that I'll just explain what is Sensex and how the capital market is so important to understand the finance and the economy. Friends, when you talk on finance or an economy, how you understand the economy is doing well or not, instead of going into the very, very micro details of every statistics given by the government. The capital market is one of the best way to understand the behavior of financial systems and the Indian capital market. You understand, friends? I hope you understand the behavioral. See, everyone have got a behavioral science. I react sometimes, you react in different way. How is my behavior? We normally tell that his behavior is like that, her behavior is like that. Behavior means, you know, reacting to various events, how a person will act and react. This is a personal feeling, every one of you know that. The same way, when the economy goes down or goes up, improving or not improving, the capital market, or otherwise called a stock market, have instant reaction to the economic events happening in the country. How do you understand the capital market? Again, it is a very big subject. I am not going into very detailed into that, but understand the capital market. Again, there is a simple logic to understand. There is an index. Index is a common name. You can have an index for any kind of services or any kind of product, any kind of activities. That is called an index. What do you mean by index, friends? I just define you an index. You know, index is a number. You understand? Index is a number which measures a change of set of values over a period of time. This is called an index. Again, I repeat, friends, you may note down or you understand. Index is a word. Okay. What is that? It is a number. Okay, it's just number. 36, 46, 1000, 2000 is a number. What is that number? Which measures a changes happening on set of values. What is set of values in these? Shares. Capital market means shares. The shares price are changing every now and then. The changes are measured over a period of time. The time may be 1 minute or maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 1 hour or 1 year, so on. So when the share prices are changing over a period of time, it has been measured and captured and disclosed as an index. That is called an index. The Bombay, I hope that most of you know that there are 2 stock exchanges in this country. One is that Bombay Stock Exchange, another is a National Stock Exchange. The Bombay Stock Exchange named its index called Sensex. That is what I am mentioning here, Sensex. This is a Sensex. What is this? Sensex is a name of the index which monitors 30 stocks listed with the Bombay Stock Exchange on a daily minute by minute basis. So that is given as a consolidated number on every second by second during the market time, how the Sensex are changing. What do you mean by that? The prices of 30 stocks, which represent 6,000 companies, how the prices are fluctuating based on economic, financial events are happening either within the country or outside the country or whatever the factors which are affecting the economy. You get my points, friends. Based on those events, the share price are fluctuating every now and then. Those fluctuations are captured and given in a simplest way called Sensex. So, if you want to understand the market behavior, just watch the Sensex, which is named by BSE. The same way there is an index called Nifty, which is given by NSE. Those things are an immediate indicator of the market behavior. You understand, friends? Once you know the market behavior, based on that, you can come to the conclusion or understand how the economy is doing well or not. If the Sensex are going up, that means your economy is improving. If the Sensex are going down, that means that your economy is in trouble or going down, or some kind of bad things or good things based on the negative, positive sides are happening. Now we'll come back to the points, friends. Please understand here in the month of January, that is the new high of Sensex 41,009, almost around 42,000 Sensex point. Getting some information about the COVID worldwide, China is getting affected. That was the February when we got the COVID-19 information. See, almost 5,300 points in 10 days it has come down. That means that the market has sensed something wrong is happening in the world. You get my point, friends? Simplest way to understand the finance. See, then again, you know, there is again confidence level. Nothing happens to India, even though the worldwide is happening. India is more safe. We are now perfect. So there is a positive reactions. Another 70 days, almost 4,554 points have been improved. So that fall 36,000 it's fell. Then again it's improved to 41,243. You understand, friends? So from February, the news becoming bad and bad. So there is already the market, even though the real lockdown have been announced in this area on 23rd March, the real lockdown was announced, but the market have sensed as early as possible in the first week of March itself. See that from 41,000, the index fell 3,300 points, almost another 3,000 points, another 6,000 points. When the lockdown was announced, almost 2,000, almost 3,000 points fell in a single day. From 42,000, it has come down to 25,000. That means almost 17,000 points. You understand, friends? 17,000 points have been wiped out in the market. What do you mean by that? Okay, what is that? Why should I know Sensex is falling? What I understand from that? For example, if you are holding, simplest way I explained to you, in the month of January, if your cash balance on your packet is 42,000, 42,000 cash you are holding in your packet, or value of an asset you have in your packet, or the share value of 42,000 you are holding in your packet on January, by January, March end, it has become to 25,300 rupees. Simplest way. That means you, without doing anything, you are not spent anything, you are not enjoyed anything, but still you know that your value of asset on your pocket has come down to 17,000 rupees. You understand, friends? You get it? Okay. This is what simple. That means understand, if your money of 42,000 has come down to 32,000, 17,000 rupees loss you have incurred without anything. You have not done anything. You have not spent anything. See, now assume that whole nation, how much wealth have been eroded due to this lockdown process. You get my point? This is the financial impact of COVID-19. Just 42,000 has come down to become 25,000. Imagine now 42 lakh crore of the nation has come down to 25 lakh crore. That means your wealth have been eroded without anything, evaporated. You become poorer so much. You understand, friends? You from richness to poorness, you have come down. This is the impact of COVID-19 on the financials of this country, not only in the country, but in the world. You need to understand, friends. This is the reaction. Okay, now things have happened. Now, okay, whatever worst we are facing now. Now what is look for? How to bring back to the 42,000 rupees from my pocket, whatever I lost, how to bring back? Who will do that? How to do that? That is the challenging environment. That is the reaction here. So what I have done it, you know, that there is a, what happened, you know, when things have happened. Now government have the responsibility and the RBI have got the responsibility. As I explained to you in my first slide that, see, when you want to improve the economy, when you want to improve the financial systems, you need to do stimulus. You have to know that you have to encourage the economy to bring it back. So who have got the role? Everyone have got a role, but still you know that there should be a pushing factor from an RBI and also the government of India. So what the RBI do, RBI will do based on its policy, which is a weapon they have got called a monetary policy. So they come to stimulus on 26/3/2020. You know that 23rd March, the lockdown was announced. And immediately, you know that the RBI sensed that something wrong in the system, you know, that the economy going to collapse. We are in the verge of going for a negative territory. So RBI started acting swiftly that, you know, they reduced the rate of interest called repo rate to 4.4%, a historical low. What is, friends, these are all, you know, certain terminology. I don't know how many may be able to understand that if you have already studied that what is the bank rate, what is the repo rate, what is the reverse repo rate, what is inflation. Again, you know that I do not want to divert the whole into things, and probably if need, then we can have a separate on this subject, we can have a discussion. But now, since we are discussing on a macro level on the financial impact on the current scenario, that we need to study that repo rate. That means, you know, the RBI is responsible, as I told you in the beginning, about the money circulation. Now your 47,000 has become to 25,000. That means you lost 17,000 rupees. Where this money gone? Now RBI have to bring that 17,000 back to your pocket so that you can spend more as usual prior to March, prior to COVID situation. How the RBI will give money? Will you give money directly to you? Come on, take friend, 17,000 rupees you lost in value, please take it and spend. No, it is not like that. So what they do that they infuse the liquidity, that is called a money circulation. That means try to infuse the liquidity into the market as much as possible so that to revive, you know, to available the funds at the banking system, the financial system, so that more people will have access to the money, thereby they will spend and try to improve the economy. So the money infusion system to the banking lending at a rate of 4.4%, they have reduced so that the bank can take more money from the RBI and try to disperse by way of loan and other factors and so on, so that the money circulation will keep going. So CRR, there is a cash reserve ratio kept, you know, that compulsorily every bank have to keep some kind of cash reserve ratio with an RBI, which they reduce 3% so that the banks will have more surplus money. And you know that thereby the bank will have more surplus. This is called inducing the liquidity into the system. When the trouble comes, for example, you do not have money, then how you will spend your life? How you pay your college fees? How you spend for your dress? How you spend for your food? How you spend for your conveyance? So difficult. So when I give you 5,000 rupees each one of you, then you are happy. You have more money. Now you buy your food, buy your cloth, pay your fees, spend for petrol, spend for cell phone, so many things. You understand, simple way of understanding the economy. If you have more money at your pocket, you spend more. Your comforts of life will increase. If you do not have more money, you will not spend anything. Or you have a borrow. If you do not have money, at least you should have a borrowing capacity and somebody have to lend money to you. So that is how financial systems are functioning. Now you come to the banks are ready to give you money because you do not have money. Now please take loan and spend so that you still keep your activities keep going. This is how. And you know that whenever there is a surplus money happens in the system, you know that the RBI normally goes to the repo reverse rate, that they buy back to the system, which around 7.3.7%. Probably these are a little tough subject to understand. Probably when you study the monetary economics, probably you will understand these are all the features. So this is first stimulus package, and again there is a next stimulus package about stimulus. RBI reduced the repo rate to 4%. So this is how the RBI entered into the financial system, so to bring back the economy back and make the economy revival. So what is the other strategizing stimulus is that Government of India. That is the monetary policy. The government is doing that fiscal policy. The fiscal policy one, they announced on 26th March, government announced economic relief package of almost 1.7 lakh crore. The second stimulus come into that, 13.5 in the month of May, finance minister announced a stimulus packages on 5 tranches, totaling almost around 11.02 crores. You understand, friends? Out of the 11 lakh crores, almost 5.94 lakh crore goes to MSME. That is what? Micro, small and medium enterprises. These are all, that these MSMEs are constituting 36% of GDP contribution. So if your economy has to grow, I hope that most of you understand the small shops, small industries on the roadside here, villages, town, they contribute the maximum best possible way to the country's economic growth. So naturally, the government have to address to where there will be more economic activities, more employment generation, more income contribution. There they are pumping almost a maximum extent, almost 50% of the stimulus, 5.94 lakh, and to the MSME, and 3.1 lakh crore to the poorest section of the society. That is what the people, each one gets 2,000 rupees to their bank account, 6,000 rupees per annum, and some kind of a concession through your ration shop. So many things which try to help the poorer, that because of the lockdown, they lost their employment, country, nothing happening entire month of April. So how to get money? So the government want to help the poorest section by giving various kind of a subsidy or a contributions so that the poorest section keeps survive. You understand, friends? Because the lockdown, April month, entire April was closed. Where you will get money? Because organized sector, those who are working in an IT company or those who are working in offices or a factory, probably they may get their salary. What happened to the agriculture? What happened to the road worker? What happened to the roadside vendor? What happened to the cart vendor? What happened to the roadside idli wala, dosa wala, pan puri wala? These are all the people, taxi person who are going for a daily work. Where they will get their income when the country is totally locked down? Nobody is allowed to move out. You get my point, friends. So this 3.1 lakh crore, government have given a stimulus package by various means to reach the poor so that they get some kind of an amount to at least keep their survival. So another 1.5 lakh crore they have given to an agricultural reform so that there will be a lot of pumping to the agriculture sector so that the people will get some kind of revenue. Thereby, they will revive the economy activities. 48,000 crore to the industrial reforms and almost 61,500 to that MGNREGA. What is that? Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guaranteed Scheme. This is the one of the today, this has become a big elephant, probably most of you who have come from the rural background may know that some people are working on the roadside every day. They are giving guaranteed employment, 100 days guaranteed employment in a year with per day 100 rupees, 200 rupees like that. At least keep them going, that they are guaranteed to get this this is going a lot of revival. So friends, so this is how, that I have so far briefed you about, the financial systems, which influences the financial system. One is that monetary policy, another is the fiscal policy. Monetary policy is taken care by Reserve Bank of India. Fiscal policy has taken care by the Government of India. Both have to complementary, both have to together to keep the economic activities happening and country to grow. When the turbulent things happen, the economy will face tough time. Now, COVID-19 was an unexpected pandemic, which created a lot of havoc in the economic system, brought down our growth to a ground level. So when the growth has come to a ground level, our money is evaporated, the value of asset is evaporated, people do not have money surplus to spend, people suffer. And then if you want to revive the activities, the government has come in to give you a stimulus package by way of fiscal announcement. The RBI comes into reducing the rate of interest so that the banks with the surplus funds, the financial system have more surplus fund to help the people to borrow. So to revive the activities. So friends, now I come back to what kind of a size of our economy, of our financial systems. I give you as a macro level picture. So India to grow almost 1.9% in the financial year 21. What a pity, friends. I do not know how many you understand this. We were growing at a rate of 8% in 2014. And from 8.5% of GDP growth, we are slowly come down, and estimated to grow by FY20 almost around 6.5%. That was our expectations by March 2020. Now from here, we will grow at 1.9% in the coming March 21, so that we can recover to 7.4%, 6.5 to 7.4, that is a 1.9%, the growth rate for the current year, which may make us to grow at a rate of 7.4% to 21-22, the next year. That is what IMF expectations. Understand, friends? So unless we grow at 1.9% for a size of almost 130 crore population, what you will get? What will be our per capita income? Ultimately, the whole growth has to be divided by each person in this country, how much income they are earning. So based on that only, each person's spending capacity. So we need to understand, when we understand the GDP, we also need to understand the per capita income, so that every person have got how much money at their hand to spend to maintain their life. You understand, friends? Again, you know that these are all little deeper explanations are required, but however, time constraint, I have to complete. I think otherwise you will get bored. I know within 1 hour, I have to complete my exercise explaining at a macro level. So please understand that our GDP is almost around 3.2 trillion. And you know that even though the estimated was 11.3 trillion in another 5 years, but actually when you call this a nominal GDP, again, the measure of GDP have different method. And in the last budget, our finance minister, honorable prime minister, finance minister have made a presentation in the parliament that 2.5 trillion size of an economy on 19 end will make in another 5 years, we will double to 5.5 trillion economy. That means in another 5 years, we have to grow double. Whereas this pandemic has created an brought down back to almost, we are back to another 5 years in the growth. But India is almost, the 5th rank in the world. Our GDP is the 5th in the world. And our growth rate is expected almost, you see here, 6.1, 4.2, almost now see minus 10.2. See how the zigzag is happening. And you know that we have to grow at almost around 7% growth. See, per capita, see almost $2,338 to 9,000 we are estimated, but we have gone back again the lowest level. So friends, see how the financial systems help. The RBI trying to create more liquidity, allow the bank to more SLR holding till maturity for securities purchased in the 2nd of 2021. That means I explained to this point more. And also there is a home loan extension of moratorium, and how the banks are helping the financial system, helping the borrowers, last from April till June, those who have borrowed money from the bank, you need not pay now. There is a moratorium given for 3 months or 4 months, so that you can pay little later, because you do not have a revenue now. You do not have a job. You do not have industry opened. You do not have production. So what you do that, you please don't pay your loan for another 3 months. Then after August and September, you please start paying that, so that another 3 months will be extended to your EMI period. This is how the additional liquidity have been helped. And at this point, I have already explained to you that, see friends, that March till September, now we are in October. When the RBI policy was announced yesterday, what I am giving the figure of yesterday's, the disclosure from the RBI, which is the hottest figure. How the market has reacted, friends. Friends, now you have to compare my earlier slides that when the lockdown was announced, from 42,000, it has come back to 25,300. From March end 25,300, you see the Sensex of yesterday is 40,509. What do you derive from this now? By March end, the Sensex was 25,300. Now by October, 40,000, that most almost from 25,000 to 40,000, 15,000 points have been recovered. So your packet of 42,000 has become to 40,000 now. You get my point? So over a period of April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months, the revival happened. That is what the financial system you need to understand. So even though there is still this virus is happening, COVID-19 is a threatening pandemic, we are afraid, we are not going out, social distancing, and still all the industries are not opened up fully and function partially, but there is a hope of revival of our economy, which brought the sentiment positive. So it has recovered, see here, 40,000 points. The census have been closed yesterday. That is a Friday. That is a 9th October, right? This is simplest way, nothing you need. Whatever the slide I have shown you in between, the first slides from 40,000 to 42,000 to 25,000, now 25,000 to 40,000, you can simply understand, forget everything. That means the economy started recovering. The financial system is active and the health of finance becoming better. So this is simple way you need to understand. So what are the challenges now? Go ahead. What is the financial challenges we have? We need to understand. Unless we understand what are the challenges today, and otherwise we cannot take a right decision to go ahead and improve our economy and the better way of financial system. So there is a growth contractions, which I have already explained to you. Sorry. There is a rising inflation. So what do you mean by, I hope that, I think final year may be understanding what is inflation. First year may not understand what is inflation. Probably someone would have studied in the +2 itself, commerce. The inflation is the purchasing power of the money. When the production is not happening, when the demand still exists, you know that lesser supply, more demand will increase the price level. And also lesser the money supply, more the demand also increase the price. And so that your purchasing power has come down, the money circulation has been affected. So there is inflation, which is a challenging factor to be tackled. More important that every one of you should understand that ballooning nature of unemployment. You know, as a student, you are more concerned about first what is your employment opportunity once you complete your graduation or a post-graduation. You're right? Am I right or wrong? I'm sure that every one of us come for a graduation or a post-graduation to study something, either engineering or arts. Ultimately, our goal to get better employment to earn salary, right? But when there is a more unemployment, what will happen? The students who are not getting employment, whatever the money you spend on college studies, you cannot get back, and family will be in trouble. Our future is in gloomy, so that the unemployment need to be tackled so that the growth can be kept pace. The key indicators hinting at a prolonged slowdown, even though the recovery is in the possibilities, but still, you know, that there is a large, you know, perception that the recovery may not be so quick and it's not vertical. Instead of V-shape, it is going to be a little bit U-shape like this. So that these are all the challenges, and GDP expected to be in negative zone for another 1 or 2 years. This is what most of the economists are expecting. And fiscal deficit, you know, that hit record in April to June. What do you mean by that fiscal deficit? Government spends money, you know, that through the, see, I gave you the fiscal stimulation of 11.7 crore. The finance ministry have announced, so overall the package was 20 lakh crore. That is almost, you know, 10% of our GDP size to revive the economy. Where this money 11 lakh will come from? Government have to borrow because government does not have a revenue. When they borrow, there is a gap between the income and the expenditure. The gap is widening. When the gap is widening, the government have to borrow money. That borrowing, if you are estimated 100 rupees for this current year, that means April to next March, I am planning to borrow 100 rupees by the government. Already I have borrowed 83 rupees in June itself. You get me? 100 rupees I am supposed to borrow and spend for the whole year. Now I have already borrowed 83 rupees till June. How to spend another 9 months to keep going? Because there is a lower tax collection. And still people feel that, that 21 lakh crore of stimulus package given by the government is not adequate. So there is a big challenges. See, this is a Sensex movement happened, and this is what market, how that this has fallen from 40,000 to, this is a level of 42,000, fallen to 25,000. It's recovering because now it has come down to 40,000 points. You get my points, friends? So this is how this pandemic, has brought down a slowdown into the system. From here, you see that all red, how there is no blue line at all, and everything red line slow down because of pandemic. And the current account balance, how it has become a negative and sometimes positive, that there is a surplus happened in FIQ. Current account balance, I hope that it's simplest way to tell you, there is a difference between an export and an import. If we do more export and lesser import, our current account balance would be always on a positive. And if we do more import and lesser export, that means the current account balance will be negative. And in that kind of situation, our currency value will be decided based on our current account balance and the inflation. And because, see, this is the one positive factor happened in this COVID, because not because of it is positive balance, but does not mean that we are growing because there is a less import. So it shows here current account surplus balance. And India's current account surplus balance, record surplus of this 19.8 billion, that is 3.9% of GDP in the Q1. That is what my earlier slides was telling. And now this is what most important, friends. You need to understand how the job market is doing well in the financial system. That, see, from here there is kind of recovery for each industry. That is export and imports recovering faster. And that media and .com and entertainment's recovery, logistic little bit, recruitment, and that industrial production and construction and engineering, out of which the export imports in 1 month, there is a perceptible changes in the job picking side. How the job posting very slump, you see here, education still very bad, and how recovered, and architect, interior design, and pharma and biotech, and retail. See here, retail, this is the word picking up. Hospitality, IT and software, nothing happens. No additions, no employments happening, except 1 or 2 industries like TCS, which I am going to explain to you. This is the unemployment rate, friends. You need to understand that from March, 8.8% has gone up to 23.5% in the April due to the close down, total lockdown. Now it's slightly coming, and still we are back to 8.4% in the month of August. This is what, as a student of finance, you need to understand how the banking, the financial systems are functioning in this country. You need to understand every financial institution, how badly we are doing, how the NPA level is rising. This is what a financial student need to understand in a large way. And see here that NPA means, I hope that understand non-performing assets. That means that whatever the loan people have borrowed is not repaying, and there is no chance of repayment at all. So it is going to become a bad debt for the financial systems. See here how much, almost, see, 15.7% in 97 has come down to 2.2% in the month of March 2009. This is a period we have grown very well. Please understand, these are all indicators. Student of finance, you need to understand that this year from 2000 to 2009, we have grown well. Our GDP was growing better. Every one of us becoming richer and richer, so that the NPA was falling and compliances was more. From 2010, 2011, here see slowly gone again 11.2%. and 9.3% of our banking September 19. Still we need, it will be more in the September 20. See, this is going to put an enormous stress on the banking systems. The Indian financial systems, more and more NPA means more and more financial weakness are prevailing in the country. The banks are, I do not know how many of you have studied the Lakshmi Vilas Bank fiasco. Please do a case study. What is Lakshmi Vilas Bank? What happened to them? How the AGM have defeated the official resolutions. This is what, see credit growth. One side NPA is growing. Another side, you know that the credit growth is coming down. What do you mean by credit growth? You know, the student of finance, you need to understand that if there is no credit growth, that means no development. You understand, friends? Nobody is taking credit. Nobody is taking loan from the bank. Nobody coming to the financial system for assistance. That means I'm not expanding my activities. I'm not growing. I'm not expanding my production capacity. I'm not adding the capacity. I'm not opening a new industry. If we do not know all these things, how to create employment, the employment will come down. So this is an indication, see here, from here, it has come down to 5.26% a credit offtake growth, which is not good for a growing country. So one side, the bank NPA should come down. Another side, the banking credit growth should go up. This should move on opposite directions so that this will give a positive indicator of our finance. See, muted credit growth, you know that credit growth has come down 6.3, 6.8, it has come down to 5.7. How systematically it is not growing. The fiscal deficit, this is what I explained to you in the earlier slide, that 8.7 lakh crore. This is what a deficit which, that is the reason government do not have money. When the government do not have money, how they will pump in money into the system to create more liquidity and how they will give incentives. Every one of us wants, friends, you look at that, all people wants the government to give salary, government to give leave, government to give medical assistance, government, everything happened in this country, government should give money. If there is a flood, government should give money. If there is a famine, government should give money. If there is no unemployment, government should give money. Everybody wants government should give money. If you look at the TV news, all will say government is not taking care of us, they are not giving money to us. How government will give money? As a student of finance, you need to understand how the financial systems are functioning in this country. You understand, friends? 8.7 lakh crore in just 6 months' time in the fiscal year have been a deficit for the government. Another 6 months have to go. How this will be made up? As a student of finance, you need to understand that unless there is a more production, more sales, more GST, more income tax, more customs, more revenue to the government, that will bring down this balance. Otherwise, it's very difficult to bring down. That means that we have to create more productivity, increase the cost of, decrease the cost of production, bring back to the system so that government gets better revenue so that they can spend better. So these are all sector, you know, that how some sectors are growing. This is a current scenario that agriculture, fishing is growing. And you know that what else? Public administration, defense, all others in a negative territory, even after 4 months of this pandemic situation have created a havoc in the system. The main reason for this kind of problem we are facing, you know, that India traditionally, you know, our people, you know, we have the savings habit. A lot of people save money because we are like that. We don't spend as much as we earn. Every one of us save money, but unfortunately, those savings are going into more conventional way of investment, like a fixed deposit, a bank account, or real estate. It does not come to the equity market. Again, why we should come to an equity market? What is the impact? Again, it's a bit subject, but if it comes to an equity market, there will be more development on the capital industrial side. See, look at the developed countries. US 45% of the financial assets investing by the public, the savings, and Spain 42, Canada 37, China 28, France 28. See here, it comes to India, it is 14%. See, that shows, sorry. In most of the developed countries, the people invest their savings in the equities. So that helps them to have more industrialization. Just to give you an idea about, that mutual funds, and most of the top sector mutual funds are, see, this is what a student of finance need to understand, that banks and private financing companies, financial sectors are attracting a lakh and 84,000 crore investment by the mutual fund. That shows that the financial markets are going to be the key players in the economic development. That will show a better growth, so that most of the investment from the mutual fund goes to the financial sector and next to the IT and pharmaceutical and refinance. These four sectors are the top 10 which attracts a large amount of investment. That means that they are going to be the future earning members. And who are all the large players in the financial system today? You know that HDFC Bank, Reliance Industries, Infosys, ICICI Bank, Bharti Airtel, HDFC, Kotak. These are all the companies, that most of the mutual fund are investing. That shows that these top 10 companies are the huge wealth creator in the financial systems. So if you want to place your money, this is the company where you need to place your investment. And even tomorrow, when you got a placement, if these companies coming for a placement, they should be your first priority than any other companies, because they are the top players in the market. And you know that these are all mid-cap segment. See, normally, that entire industry we divide into three categories. One is the large cap companies, mid-cap companies, and small cap companies. What do you mean by that? It's cap is nothing but capitalization. What do you mean by capitalization? The capitalization is nothing but the share price, what is quoted in the market, multiplied by number of shares issued in the market. That becomes a market capitalization of the particular company. So based on the market capitalization, we categorize that these are all large capitalization companies, these are medium, these are all small, like that. So these are all mid-cap companies, and these are all, yes. And this is how, that mutual fund normally today have the concept of SIP contributions. That is a systematic investment plan by the small investor. Total mutual fund assets, see that 27,78,000 crore. This is the total funds are managed by mutual funds in this country. This is the most interesting point you should know, friends. I'll just run over, and I do not have much of a time. Don't get bored. And I hope that I'm trying to explain as simple as possible with a limited time. Today, the topmost corporate is the Reliance, that in India, this is one of the private company, how they have acquired various companies over a period of time. This is what the company have acquired over a period of time. This Reliance Industries, one company have acquired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 companies. They have acquired over a period of time, ranging from various deals, music, news, and that pharma, education, telecom, and this vernacular chatbot, and artificial intelligence, delivery services, cable distribution, fashion and e-commerce, pharmacy. These are all the area this company, one of the company to invest. How they have crossed over a period of here, their share price, how the share price moved over a period of time. There is a slowdown. See, this share price was 876 rupees this period, and how it is grown to today's more than 2,000 rupees in a span of 1 year. 800 rupees of your investment in the Reliance Industry shares have moved. It's doubled in a span of 1 year, and that is how the stock market gives you return. So this is how foreign institutional investors are pouring money into this country. And where they have invested their money, these are all the companies where they have invested in the last 1 quarter. They are increasing because India is the country is growing compared to any other country in the world. Of course, China. But compared to China, we have a lot of other advantages being a democratic country. We are more transparent, so that more corporates are coming into the system. These are all the top 10 ranked automobile company in the country. These are all the best car, which you need to understand. Top PAT is what, profit after tax. See that these are the company almost, Reliance, ONGC, these are all companies earning very highest. Almost 45% is the PAT. Here it is a 25% is the PAT. The consumer industry is 5%. See here industries are 4%. Again, that IT companies, they are putting almost 21, technical and telecom. 21% PAT they are earning. That means profit after tax, which are very great compared to any other industries. So they are all one of the best performing companies you should understand. And which are all the assets which gave you excellent return during these years called, you see, gold. Gold has given over a period from 1970 to now it's given almost 1,380% return. Same way, Nikkei is an index, stock index. Nasdaq is a stock index. Crude oil and S&P is also stock index. These are all the best top market cap companies. You should know that. See, Reliance, Mukesh Ambani Group, almost this is the size of the company, almost 15 lakh crore. And Tata Group, HDFC Group, Bajaj, ICICI, L&T, Mahindra, go on. So this is how they are growing. And this is how your financials have been assessed by CLSA, that private bank shares gain accelerated materially in last 2 years. State Bank of India, one of the largest bank in this country, which is the main crux player of the financial market, has maintained its CASA share, that is a current account, small account, savings bank account. And if at all you need to do that, our target implies now upside for ICICI, SBI, Axis and HDFC Bank. They are the financial institution which are going to grow almost around 35 to 70%, which we need to understand. And these are all just, I'm just going back. These are all the top wealth creators in this country, friends. You need to understand that who are creating a large wealth in the country is Mukesh Ambani, Hinduja Brothers, Shiv Nadar, Gautam Adani, Ajim Premji, and Cyrus Poonawalla, and Radhakishan Damani, and Uday Kotak, Dilip Sanghvi, and Cyrus Polanji Mistry, and Shapur Polanji Mistry. These are all the people who create a large wealth, top 10 wealth creators in this country. And this is the companies with the 50% market share of their business. Friends, as a student of finance and commerce, you need to understand one thing is that when you want to buy something, when you want to remain with some company's product, you should always go with a leader. Who is the leader? Any company in their own area, in their own business, who have largest market share. They are the leaders of this country, leaders of the particular respective business and the field. So we should always go with, see, for example, IEX, 90% of the market share in power trading. Yes, Zydus Wellness, 90% of the market share in sugar-free product. Eicher Motor, 85% in the market share for 250cc vehicle, Bullet. And the MCX, 85% share in commodity trading. ITC, 75% market share in cigarettes. Ashi Industries, Asia Glass, 70% in the automotive glass. Fidelite, 67% in adhesive. And you know that Exide, and how much 60% in the batteries. LMW, 50% in share textile machinery. Bajaj Consumer, Asian Paints, Colgate, Shimponi, Seahair, Maruti, GMM. So they are all the 50 companies which have largest market share in their respective industry. See, these are all the companies, you know, that debt-free company in the country. So student of finance, you need to know that how the finance these companies are managing. You should study these companies. How these companies become a debt-free company, how they make it. See that. They are all golden companies which we need to study and understand. This is, I have already explained to you. Okay, now we'll come to the last part that, you know, that, okay, these are all what happened in the past. Either due to demonetization or due to GST and COVID-19, all these things which have affected our financial systems to a large extent, how we will do well in the future. What is our predictions? How top economics may perform. This is what a prediction which IMF have growth projections for the year 21 March. You know that who all have done this, you know, World Bank, Goldman Sachs, Economist Intelligence Unit, Moody, SBI, ADB, they are all projected that how our this each economy see here. World economy minus 3.2, it will grow to 5.8%. This is world on average. US from minus 5.9 to 4.7. This is the projections. And you know that Euro is a minus 7% to 4.7%. Brazil minus 5.3 to 2.9. Russia, see India, and from 1.9% growth to 7.4% growth. This is going to explosion. This is called an explosion, which is going to happen. We are going to witness that. Let us have a positive hope that we are all going to have an excellent future. The worst is behind us, and past we are going to have a bright future. See that China 9.2%, India is 7%. So that is going to have a better advantages. India, we are placed at a better advantages, so that there will be large inflow of cash is going to happen. Large economic development will happen. So there will be more employment opportunities, more wealth creation, more surplus money, more standard of living. This is the stock market, friends. I give an example at how Warren Buffett made his money after his 50 years. The most of his wealth have been created. See here, up to 52 years. What is his wealth? 376 million. Now from 52, almost he see 83 billion. How he has created so much. This is an example that age is not a factor to earn wealth. At any age you can make. Students, friends, you are all fortunate. You are all more young. You have enough opportunity to make more money, so that you have to decide. Before I conclude, I wish to explain to you one thing that, you know, normally what do you mean by savings? Savings, everybody will say that income minus expenditure equal to whatever surplus you have got in savings. That is what normally you define. I would like to redefine the savings like this. Income minus savings equal to spending expenses. That is how you should plan once you get your employment, become earning member. Friends, with this I conclude.